Finding Mental Health Help. Brooke talks about self-advocates and mental health. Between 30 and 50% of people with IDD also have mental health conditions. People with IDD are more likely to have mental health conditions than others. People with IDD are less likely to seek treatment. Getting help can be frustrating. It can be scary. It might not seem worth it. But there is hope. Describe the state of mental health in the self-advocate community.
So I would say we are still reeling from COVID and some of the isolation that took place during that, and people not having access to things like in-person counseling appointments, and it all went virtual. And I think that we as people with IDD are still suffering some of the effects of just not having access to just basic everyday services. And I think we're seeing a lot of that with our self-advocates, that they still feel isolated and alone. And with the return of things like Special Olympics, and they're getting their outlets to be able to come back in, people are able to somewhat get their mental health care. But even now, there's still rules about how you can be supported at a doctor's appointment, who can go with you, and so they're carrying a lot of that weight on their own, whereas before somebody could go with them.
How can we improve mental health care for people with IDD?
I think we can create more opportunities for people to receive mental health care. That can start back to having more therapists trained in people with IDD and how to work with them and their complex support needs. We can, like I said, it goes back to just having non-traditional ways of getting people to talk about it.
What kinds of mental health care do people with IDD need?
I would say they need access to routine mental health, being able to have their medications monitored, things like that. I would also say they need access to non-conventional therapies like art therapy, different ways to express themselves. After being home for so long, I feel like they lost some of their social skills. So therapy that can be incorporated into social settings, I feel like could be really beneficial.
How have people's feelings about mental health care changed?
I think we are now seeing an openness about mental health. I think coming from COVID, kind of everyone is struggling with mental health a little bit. So, if you've got somebody living in a residential facility, their staff is likely struggling with it as well. So they are more open about it. And so then in return, the people are more open about it. And so they are able to seek out the help they need. And then there's honestly just traditional counseling, I feel like, is starting to take place because before it was all about behavior, like we got to fix the behavior, but now it's more of, okay, let's just talk, have a conversation, get to the root.
What advice do you have for people with IDD who might need mental health help?
I would say plug into one of our chapters. Texas Advocates has 20 chapters across the state, so just plug in, and it's okay to ask for help.
Finding the right mental health support is important. It doesn't have to be hard or frustrating. You can find the right mental health provider for you. Learn more at mhhelptx.org. That's mhhelptx.org.